Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Cindy. I'm from Chemistry Education Class B. In this video, I will discuss the result of my practicum. Namely, the module is Modification of Sulfur. Literature review from Modification of Sulfur. Sulfur is a chemical element in the periodic table that has the symbol S and atomic number 16. Its form is a tetherless, odorless, multivalent nonmetal. Sulfur, in its natural form, is a yellow crystalline solid. In nature, sulfur can be found as an essential element for life and is found in 2 amino acids. Its commercial use is mainly in fertilizers, but also in gunpowder, matches, insecticides, and fungicides. Experimental work scheme. There are 2 treatments. First, modifications of sulfur. A blend 0.5 grams of sulfur in evaporation scope by heating the sulfur until it melts and let it freeze. Observe crystal stripes 2. Add 0.5 grams of sulfur powder in the test tube while shaking the tube. Observe the sulfur color change. Secondly, characteristic of sulfuric acid. Add a piece of copper in the test tube containing 1 ml H2SO4, not boiling. Observe the activity in the test tube. Write the reactions equations. Place the filter paper moistened with K2CrO4 solution in the mouth of test tube. Test tube in step 1. Observe the color change on the filter paper. Write the reactions equation. Put sucrose into the test tube and a few drops of concentrated H2SO4. Observe and take a note the activity the test tube. Put 2 ml of acetic acid into the tube. Add 2 ml of ethanol and 2 ml of concentrated H2SO4. Heat and test tube using a Bunsen burner. Observe and take a note the activity in the test tube. Write the reactions equations. Next, these questions. First, modification of sulfur. First modification, sulfur exists in crystalline form depending on temperature. In this experiment, sulfur melts because of the nature of the sulfur itself. It will melt if it is above the heating temperature of 95.6 Celsius. After freezing, prismatic needles are formed, namely monoclinic sulfur, or also called beta sulfur. The called beta sulfur molecular needles consist of an acidic ring, which is an octahedral crystal. In the picture, melted sulfur and yellow crystal. The second modification, the sulfur powder becomes a brown-yellow liquid because the ring has broken. In the temperature continues to be raised, the liquid will become viscous and the color will turn darker because the shrink as 8 bricks and form a chain. The reaction is ditambah 0,2 menghasilkan SO2. Next, 2SO2 ditambah O2 menghasilkan 2SO3. In the picture, sulfur color brownish yellow. Secondly, characteristic of sulfuric acid. The first step is to heat a piece of copper with 1 ml of concentrated H2SO4. When heated, the solution boils. From the result of observation, gas bubble formed. The reaction is Cu tambah 2H2SO4 menghasilkan CuSO4 ditambah SO2 ditambah 2H2O. In the picture is gas bubbles formed. Sulfuric acid react with copper requires hot concentrated sulfuric acid, and these reactions produce sulfur dioxide SO2. This happens because hot concentrated sulfuric acid acts as an oxidizing agent in the reactions that occurs in the above equations produce sulfur dioxide gas or SO2 from the reactions between copper and concentrated sulfuric acid, characterized by the presence of gas bubbles. The second observation was that the gas bubbles produced were tested by placing filter paper moistened with H2Cr2O7 above the mouth of the test tube. After a while, the filter paper turns into a whitish brown color. This is caused by the presence of SO2 gas produced from the reactions of copper and H2SO4. This SO2 gas then react with H2Cr2O7, which is marked by a white color on the filter paper if it is done for a while. However, the result we obtained were with its brown filter paper. The reactions that occurs is Kr2O7 2- ditambah SO2 ditambah H+ menghasilkan 2Cr3+ ditambah SO4 2- ditambah 5H2O. The third observation, the nature of sulfuric acid as a dehydrating agent is reacting sucrose with concentrated H2SO4. From this experiment, sucrose is black. The equation for the reaction that occurs C12H22O11 ditambah H2SO4 menghasilkan 12C ditambah 11H2O ditambah H2SO4. In the picture, sucrose turns black. It can be seen that H2SO4 decomposes sucrose or separates hydrogen and oxygen from the sugar. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong dehydrating agent. Dehydration is the release of water molecules from a material that is attracted by a material such as H2SO4. The presence of carbon produced from these reactions can be seen by the formation of a black color in the mixture when added with concentrated H2SO4. The fourth observation, the nature of sulfuric acid as catalyst in the formations of esters is reacting 2 ml of acetic acid to